Hi, I'm Steve Weintraub, and I run the website Collider, and I am thrilled to be at the Collider studio, sponsored by Saratoga Water. A huge thank you to Saratoga, because we cannot be here without a sponsor. Sundance is expensive.
It's really refreshing.
And the blue bottles.
Yeah.
Listen, you know the secret though? No BS. It's because of the glass. Plastic makes things taste like shit, and glass makes things taste great.
I agree.
It's why beer is in glass.
Yeah.
Is that recycled blue glass?
I'm going to say it's recycled from Avatar people. And, but anyway, so I'm here to talk about Fairyland, which I thought was fantastic. But before we get into Fairyland, you were mentioning wikiFeet. And I wanted to find out, where did this come from?
I have a great wikiFeet.
Your opening shot in the movie is your bare feet.
That's right.
And that was strategic because we know you have a big wikiFeet following.
Yeah.
So
It's what financed the film.
it is exactly what financed the film. wikiFeet.
For all four of you, what was it like reading the script for the first time? And what made you say, oh my God, I have to be a part of this?
I've been attached for 6 years. I think it's 6 years.
Cody was the very first person attached to the movie.
And don't you forget it. I was so enamored of the script and so wanted it to happen, and years went by when it wasn't happening, and I kind of just assumed, well, I'm not going to get to do this. And Andrew and I stayed in touch, and I would kind of hound him every December, I think, like, what's happening? And then it all came together, like it seemed like within the space of a week. I found out that Scoot was doing it, and I instantly became terrified because he's just, I've always seen him as such a phenomenal artist, the kind of actor that you are like, okay, I've really got to bring my A game. And I was at an Oscars party, and when you and I met, and you were like, Fairyland, and I was like, what about it? And you were like, I'm Alicia, and I was like, what? And then it was like all happening. It all came together within the space of like 2 weeks, and we were off to San Francisco and shooting. And it was such an extraordinary experience the whole time. So that's my experience of it.
The whole 21 days that we shot the movie in.
But you wouldn't have known it. I mean, Andrew handled it so deftly. It was such a punk experience shooting. Like I remember coming in, be like in the makeup room, I'd be in character, and I'd come in, and there would be Amelia getting her hair done, and we'd kind of go off and do something, and then Nessa would be going, and the entire time Andrew was so calm, and he'd kind of come in with his little screen, and his direction was, yeah, so how you feeling? And I was like, yeah, it's good. He's like, okay, yeah, all right then. Like out of the room, you never knew that anything was a problem. He was like, okay, well, yeah, we've got to get this, so let's do it. It was just, it felt like indie filmmaking in the best possible sense, a collaboration with a leader who knew what he wanted and who delivered.
Yeah, no matter how stressful it was, it never showed.
And an extraordinary team of producers as well. I mean, you have Sofia Coppola, and you have Megan Carlson, and they were real leaders on this film, and everything just felt like a family experience. And so you knew, I know.
I was like, Sophia, what? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
That was really it. I mean, it was just, as a team, you don't get this often, and it was such a love fest. It was just so easy and gentle and humorous and light, and at the same time, obviously tackling such intense issues. Kudos to Andrew.
I was going to say, you have a fun scene with Nessa. I don't want to spoil it here, but I'm curious what it was like filming a certain scene that is dealing with adult stuff, maybe.
What was really great about, just as an aside, indie filmmaking, I got into that bath, and it was freezing cold. Do you remember? They were like, the water's warm, it'll be great. And
well, there was no running water in that house, so we had to just fill a bathtub with water that was, I don't know, from the hose.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they were like, jump into the bath, it's going to be great. And I was like, this is minus 10 degrees. And I'll say something about that. I remember early on, Scoot and I kind of looking at each other at the start of the film, because Andrew was so gentle that he would kind of, the camera would be off in the distance or something. We'd kind of be doing our thing. And he knew what he wanted, and we were like, we've got all these ideas and we've got all this, and he was just kind of like, no, I want you to be in the distance, and it was the same with the bath scene. He put the camera in a certain place, and I was thinking, there's going to be coverage, there's going to be a close-up, I was going to make all these choices, and he said, no, just sit in the bath and we're just going to do it. And it feels like it was the first take.
It might have been.
Where the ashtray fell in.
We didn't have many takes on this movie because we didn't have time.
No.
So, the ashtray did fall in. That was the first take. Yeah, you're right.
Take.
Yeah.
So it was the shock of, you're kind of dealing with that situation as it's unraveling, and everything just felt so authentic. And Nessa is such a special little soul. She's so vibrant and curious and fun. And so again, it's like Scoot said, you just kind of need to lock in and go.
So I've spoken to a lot of directors, and they do sometimes some real experimental editing, and sometimes it works, but it's good to have that freedom. So at least you tried it.
Yeah.
And
Or to know that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you can move on from it.
100%.
But even with that, the editing in this film, like I saw it for the first time in theaters today, I decided that I would wait. And I mean, it's extraordinary how it moves time periods so seamlessly. Like that scene where Alicia is getting off the bus. I had a moment in the film where I went like, oh my God, he's so clever. Like just appreciating this is really moving along. Like this is it's extraordinarily well paced.
And I thank you so much for coming in. And one more time, because I want to, a huge thank you to Saratoga for being our
Thank you.
sponsor.
It's delicious. It's kept us
really appreciate
hydrated.
it. Right.
Yeah, very refreshing.
And
We love the blue bottles.
Enjoy Sundance. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
so
This was
much.
super fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.